She asked for water. They looked past her like she didn't exist. The flight crew bustled around the first-class cabin, their smiles mechanical, their movements choreographed with crisp efficiency. The woman seated in 1D barely moved. Her eyes followed them, observing, calm as still water. Her voice was soft when she spoke. "Excuse me, may I please have some water?" No response. A tall, blonde attendant in a neatly ironed uniform glanced her way, narrowed her eyes, and kept walking. The others did the same. Some avoided eye contact altogether. Others hesitated, their mouths twitching as if on the edge of a decision before they turned away. No yelling. No protest. Just a quiet woman in an elegant charcoal coat with an air of grace that couldn't be bought. Her name was Delilah Warren. The crew didn't know that name. Not yet. She didn't fit their picture of who should sit in first class, even though she walked aboard with confidence. Her boarding pass clearly marked 1D. No assistant, no flashy jewelry, no loud phone calls, no air of entitlement. Just presence. Just poise. And brown skin that told them wrongly that she didn't belong. It wasn't just the water. She was skipped during meal service, too. They handed wine lists to every passenger in a row except her. One male attendant even stopped beside her and asked, "Are you sure you're in the right seat, ma'am?" when she politely reminded him she hadn't received the menu. "I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be," she said, folding her hands in her lap. The man pursed his lips and walked off. The woman across the aisle, a middle-aged socialite with a designer bag and a diamond bracelet that caught the sunlight, glanced sideways at Delilah and then leaned closer to the attendant as he passed again. "Security background check much?" she whispered just loud enough. Delilah didn't flinch. She had heard worse. The flight continued in silent seat, least for her. She watched the clouds roll by, the sky stretching endlessly, untouchable. She didn't tap the call button. She didn't demand respect. She didn't have to, because 10 rows back in coach, a flight attendant was bragging about her instincts to a colleague. She said it was obvious which people in first class didn't fit the image. "Some folks," she smirked, "they think money buys class." They laughed. They didn't know that one of the passengers seated nearby had overheard everything. He didn't say a word either. Just took a discreet photo of the crew member's badge and quietly texted it to someone who would understand the gravity. The flight landed just after dusk in San Francisco. The passengers disembarked in the usual shuffle, impatient, weary, unaware that the world had just shifted under their feet. Delilah waited until the last. She stood, adjusted her coat, and offered a polite nod to the pilot at the cockpit door. He didn't recognize her. No one did. Yet. Until 24 hours later, when the email hit every employee inbox at Sterling Pacific Airlines. It came from the chairman of the board. Her, Delilah Warren. She wasn't just some random traveler. She was the newly appointed interim CEO of Sterling Pacific, a position kept under wraps during her first few weeks in silent assessment. The board had given her full authority to review and restructure the company's operations after a string of service scandals. What they didn't know was that she intended to evaluate the airline from the inside, anonymously, without handlers, without press. She didn't want red carpets or stage briefings. She wanted truth, and she got it by simply asking for water. Her internal report, delivered with surgical precision, detailed not just the crew's individual failings, but the larger culture that allowed such behavior to fester. Unchecked bias, poor training, and an outdated understanding of modern professionalism. Within 72 hours, 2 flight attendants were suspended. 1 resigned. The senior manager of in-flight services was reassigned. Diversity training across the company was overhauled. And within the month, Delilah personally delivered a company-wide address stream from headquarters. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't list names. Instead, she told a story. I sat in 1D on flight 8062. I asked for water and was ignored. Not because of noise, not because of distraction, but because someone assumed I didn't belong. They didn't know my name. But that's the point. We should treat every passenger with the same dignity, whether they're flying first class or standby, whether they wear a suit or jeans, whether they look like me or not. There was silence on the call. Not corporate silence. Human silence. The kind that sinks in when people realize they missed a moment that mattered. Delilah continued, "This isn't about me. I'm not here to punish people. I'm here to rebuild a company that treats all people, staff, and travelers alike with respect. That starts now." She ended the call with one line. The skies are not just for the privileged. They are for everyone. Her inbox flooded with messages. Apologies. Support. Confessions. Hope. Not everyone agreed, of course. There were whispers among the old guard, the kind who believed the image of an airline should be shaped by tradition. But even they couldn't deny the headlines that followed. Sterling Pacific CEO reveals secret passenger audit fires spark culture reform. She was ignored on a flight. Turns out, she runs the airline. The woman who had been overlooked became the face of a revolution in customer dignity. And to this day, on every Sterling Pacific flight, there's a line printed on the passenger safety card. Courtesy is not based on class. It's our standard. Delilah never asked for fame. She asked for water, and changed the entire sky.